East or fired up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
If you're a business owner, I want you to think about the amount of time you've spent worrying about safety and security. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies design custom solutions for security, communication, and so much more. From automated security to secure video conferencing, their team sits down with you to get to know you and what your business needs. Manage your operations and get notified when there is suspicious activity. Save time and cut back on stress. Diode Tech always keeps you in the know. Contact them today at 402-793-5124.
You've got used to one segment of Good Takes in the morning, but now there's a full show of Good Takes at night. Welcome into Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome in, Raff's Good Take on Sports 93.7 The Ticket. You guys always welcome to join in on the YouTube streams, any of the streams for that matter. You guys have been great really all week. There's a lot going on in the sports world, and I think the sports fans have noticed as plenty of opinions been flying in over these past few weeks. Chris Raff here on a chilly, once again, pretty awful day in the capital city in terms of the temperatures. Not as bad as yesterday, but certainly not too much better than it. How are you doing yourself down there in Alabama territory?
Oh, pretty much the same. Rainy, cold, winter, tons of
Rain
fun.
sounds better than snow, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for it to get back up to the 60s, but I was looking at the 10-day forecast. I was talking to Mr. Aaron Davis, and it looks like we don't get any higher than like 50 degrees for like the next 10 days. So no 60s or 70s here, but maybe something will change here in the next couple of weeks. So we shall see. Boy, we are, I think, what would you say that we are, Harrison? We are,
What do you mean?
Well, last night, for instance, we talked a lot about John Elway last night.
Yes, we did.
Not knowing that today Netflix would drop the preview of Elway, the documentary coming out December 22nd. And I felt like after listening to the show last night, Netflix was like, yeah, we need to get the preview released ASAP because Raff and Harrison did such a great job last night of telling John Elway stories.
Yeah, I don't know what you'd call us. Omnipotent? No, that's way too strong. I mean, that's a term used to describe God. I'm not going to go that far.
The text line needs to help us out. I mean, what are we? I mean, just not knowing, and all the Elway talk last night, and then you wake up this morning to the John Elway documentary preview. I mean, it's going to be probably the most captivating Christmas show in the history of Christmas shows. I mean, they've talked about Die Hard for years being one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time, but I'm thinking Elway, the documentary, December 22nd, does that not scream Christmas?
It does to you much more than it does me, but I definitely want to watch it. Like, it interests me, but it is not like going to be, my favorite Christmas memory of all time, to put it that way. I think for you, it might live up to that expectation. Yeah, I don't know. Could you call us oracles? Is that the word we're looking for?
Ooh, yes.
Like kind of see in the future a little bit here.
Yes.
Or soothsayers, if you want to go old school, like medieval times.
I like the oracles.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down to take that. That's an awesome title. I'll take it.
The oracles of sports talk radio. Man, I like that.
Thank you. I thought that, I thought it all myself here. No, I'm just kidding. I Googled names. I was like, what are synonyms for, what did I even type in? I was like, what is the name of a future seer?
Yes, we are the oracles of late night sports talk. That is exactly what we are. I mean, it was crazy today. I woke up to all that and I was like, I was laughing. People are tweeting at me and asking me if I was a stunt double in in the movie, but I was not asked to be in the documentary, which is crazy. I mean, they could have done like the side of fan engagement or something like that, and what he's had to deal with through the years. And I could just be like, well, I failed on several attempts, but
Well, I'm going to double down on the Oracles because I know you have it on the notes, and I was going to talk about it as well with DeMornay Pierce-Snell, but the All Big Ten offense came out, and I was perplexed. I was for some reason thinking they all came out on the same day. It's been the norm that the offense comes like a day or 2 days later, but the offense did come out, and I mean, I was 2 for 2 on who the running backs were. I'll let you tell the great news to the city of Lincoln, though.
Emmett.
First team, baby. Emmett Johnson. Or excuse me, not first. Hold on here. Oh, this is by the Big Ten coaches. Let me go down to the actual award winners here. Because they wanted to tell me the coaches poll. But yeah, Emmett Johnson. And then the other running back is K-Tron Allen. Or no, wait, it's Jordan Marshall? I'm not a soothsayer like I thought.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, we're right. Okay. I was reading horizontally. Yeah. So here you are. Your running backs are first team. You get 2 running backs, Emmett Johnson and K-Tron Allen.
So here's the deal. Like I never thought there was a doubt that he'd be all Big Ten. And did he won the Big Ten Back of the Year, the Amici Rondane Award. Do you know Amici's first name by chance?
No, I do not.
Well, his name was Alan Amici, and he went to Wisconsin. He actually played for the Indiana. He played for the Baltimore Colts. He was in the heyday of Alan the Horse Amici and Johnny Unitas. So that trophy is named after those 2 great Wisconsin greats. Ron Dane, of course, the Great Dane there in Wisconsin. So yeah, so I wasn't surprised by that. But the question now for me is All-America. Where does he fall? Like, is he going to get strong recognition for first team? I mean, when was the last time Nebraska? I mean, when was the last time we had a all Big Ten player on offense, but let alone an All-American? Because I have to think that he's right on the cusp of being a first team All-American. If you look at the statistics, I believe he finished 3rd in the nation in rushing. But you got to remember he's got a bucket load of receiving yards. So all-purpose yards, he's probably one of the top 2 or 3 in the country. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for All-America, because you have to think at minimum he's second team All-American. If he gets honorable mention All-American, I say Nebraska fans riot, because I think that'd be a travesty.
Yeah, I mean, I think he worked his way back into it because the Doak Award finalist came out and he was left out. And the only thing really holding him back, I thought, was touchdowns. But then, what he's done since then. I mean, he's a dude. I think he will be on there. Do you remember? Do you remember who the last one was?
Who the last
All-American?
Last All-American Nebraska football player. Ooh, boy. Gosh,
2021.
We had an All-American in 2021.
Yeah, a lot of people forget. I believe it was the second team.
Punter? No. Why am I free? Oh,
Jojo Doman.
Who?
Jojo Doman.
Jojo Doman. Oh, that was defense though, and he was All-American.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking offense specifically.
Well, that was Big Ten, all Big Ten, right?
Yeah, that was all Big Ten offense that we just talked about with Emmett Johnson and K-Tron Allen. Yeah, the last All-American for anything was Jojo Doman out of the Huskers in 2021.
He was an All-American, or was he honorable mention, or was he
senior nickelback, second team All-American honors?
From what was he, AP or coaches? Does it say, or
Associated Press? He got it in the AP. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I would not have guessed that in a million years.
Yeah, no, I don't think a lot of people do, but he made it.
So when was our last offensive All-American?
That I'd have to look up.
I mean, I'm trying to go back
time a little bit.
I would think man, I don't know. Amir Abdullah, was he All-American his last year?
I would think so. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Man, that is crazy. And the last time Nebraska's had a lineman All-American, I mean, it probably, gosh, is it Dominic Raiola? Or
No,
or or
I don't think so.
was Finotti? Finotti was out, or were they at the same time?
Let's see. Finotti. Finotti. 2001. It doesn't say who all voted him though, but I think
And
he
that's
was.
been I think he was unanimous first team All-American. He was a beast. But being that it's been 24 years since we've had an All-American offensive lineman, I mean, is that nuts? That is crazy. I mean, we were the pipeline.
Yeah, I'm double checking here. I'll double check over the break as well to make sure I'm not missing anybody, but I think that's it. This is the last one, anyways. I think you have to go that far back.
Wow, that is crazy. And I think Amir probably would have got some first and second team. And after Amir, it's been pretty dry. I can't think of anyone else that would have cracked into. Oh, maybe
Spencer Long?
yeah, possibly. But I was thinking like maybe I was gonna say who was the Stanley Morgan? Was he? I wonder if he. I mean, he did have 1,000 yards. Maybe close. Maybe all Big Ten or second team all. Yeah. So I mean, it's been a dry spell for Nebraska football when it comes to those awards. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Stanley Morgan.
Yeah. Poof. That's crazy. That is wild.
Wait, freshman All-American.
Yeah, that don't count. We went.
But it's All-American, so I'll give him that.
We went All-American. We went no asterisks. But
yeah, and then you got a second team All Big Ten though.
Second team. Okay.
Not, yeah.
So yeah, so it's cool that I hope and I pray that Emmett is able to, be first or second team All-American. I mean, that's just something. I mean, Nebraska needs to start being seen in those. I mean, that's the stuff that really helps the program and recruiting too. If a running back sees that you have a, first or second team All-American, that's got to be huge for the recruiting efforts to be like, hey, we have a first team All-American running back. He is probably leaving, probably not. You don't know what's going to happen yet with Emmett. I mean, it sounds like Rule's giving him his blessing, whether if he wants to stay or go, he accepts whatever happens. But that's got to be huge walking into a living room or walking into an NI or a portal person and being like, hey, we had an All-American this year. So hopefully that'll pay off, for Nebraska.
He's got a good chance. Some of the guys this year, you got Notre Dame. Haynes has slowed down a little bit out of Michigan, so he's a little bit out of the race now. And you're sitting there in front in the Big Ten, I guess. So you really shouldn't have to worry about the Big Ten other running backs based on that. You're probably looking at Notre Dame.
Yeah, Love probably, but he had less yards than he
Just
did.
A lot more touchdowns, though, is the problem. I don't know how much they're going to hurt him on the touchdowns.
And then there was the running back from Jacksonville State, which I don't know if he'll get, just being that he's lower division. I'm not sure if he'll get as much pub for All-American. So I would think that at minimum, I think second team All-American.
It's kind of where I'm at, which would be big. Again, to the point, just have a guy out there representing Nebraska. Something that
it's been
a lot of guys running around the NFL. We don't have a lot of All-Americans. We don't really get a whole lot of just all Big Ten players. So we need to get something out there. It says we're a legit university, because even the defense this year, pretty disappointing that you don't have a single name on there.
Yeah.
Hearing how much money we pump into this university for the football program, it's like, man, nothing. And then I don't know if you saw the Millard South signing day video.
No, I did not see the video.
I mean, you got 17 dudes go out there, and they had them all lined up with their school's flag, and it was a bad look to see not a single Nebraska flag out there. And it was like, boy, one of the best teams to be in Nebraska, and we didn't land one of them. Now, maybe there's reasons for it. Maybe they're good or bad reasons. But you think getting some of those guys, which I'm sure there's some of them they were interested in and wanted. Yeah. It's probably hard to do it, though, when you're just, you're not really sending guys to the league. You're not creating all Big Ten players. You're not creating all Americans. Now, this year, we'll see. We got, a couple on special teams and honorable mentions. What did you make of those? And then Emmett Johnson, obviously first team on Big Ten, and to your point, has a good chance to be an All-American.
Yeah. Well, my thing with this, it's always been this way. with Nebraska recruiting. If it fits in your system and they fit into the system that you're running and they can add to the system, then you recruit them. So I understand those 17 guys that went elsewhere. My viewpoint is, okay, they must not fit into the system that Coach Rule, Holgerson, and whoever the new defense coordinator are going to be, and that's why they didn't maybe recruit them more heavily. However, it goes on the other side too. If Nebraska continues to flip-flop around and not know what their identity is, and these players go have success elsewhere, then I'm going to be scratching my head going, well, why wouldn't you have went after these guys to try and formulate some sort of identity? I mean, just even today, Braylon Warren, he committed to Missouri. So it's like, that's another Nebraska, and that's a legacy kid. But like I've said before, legacies don't matter no more, because I've seen the way some Nebraska fans have, treated, Dylan. Like, the hate for him is just crazy. And I know it's not every Nebraska fan, but there is some, and you see it out there, and you're just kind of scratching your head like, this is a legacy kid that, his dad played here and played great, an All-American. But
just a tough generation to understand, I think, for people. And you have players that is, it's a weird time. Players that go out there, and if they market themselves in any sort of way, like, some fans just don't like it. Or if you hop on TikTok at any moment, some fans are just going to think that means you're not putting in the time. It's not fair, but like, that's seriously what it is. Like, you see it all the time. Like, if you go on X, and if there is a basketball player, or I forget what the guy who went to Duke and he was doing TikToks. He's a great NBA player. It didn't matter, but he was getting tons of hate for it. And people are saying X, Y, and Z. If you are shown doing something that is, like, I don't even know, because we have people that do these radio shows and, like, nobody cares, and that takes a whole hour. But players putting together a 10-minute TikTok video is like, how dare you not be focusing on football at this very moment? I'm not on TikTok. I mean, have fun with it. I don't care. But yeah, it's just, I think it's just a tough generation to understand for some fans.
Well, my thing with this is I'm kind of the old school guy myself. If you're succeeding and doing your thing on the football field, you can make all the TikTok videos you want. But if you're not, in today's age of the NIL and money and stuff like that, if you're not, out there doing your thing on the football field, then you're going to be open to criticism if people see you doing TikToks all the time. Like, hey, say what you want. Emmett Johnson is a TikTok machine. But there's no way that I can come out and be like, darn it, Emmett, why are you making all these TikToks? He's doing his thing. He has, what do you have? Close to 1,800 yards in total offense this year. I mean, he's doing his thing. So there's no criticism. But then say he would have came out and had like 300 yards rushing this year, then maybe there might have been a little bit of criticism. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, look at coaches. I mean, when a coach is winning and doing his thing, no one says a word about it. Let's look at Nick Saban, for instance. Look at the tirades that he's had on the sidelines at Alabama over the years. Well, there was a guy from Nebraska that had some tirades on the sideline too, but he wasn't winning as much as what Nebraska fans wanted. So then all of a sudden he was the bad guy because he had tirades. But you put up who broke more headphones on the sideline. I guarantee you Nick Saban broke more headphones than Bo Pelini ever did. However, Nick was winning national championships, and that was the acceptable thing. I guarantee you, if it had been the other way around and Bo Pelini was putting up national championships, no one would have said a word about the tantrums on the sideline. But it's just how it looks. It's the perception of where it's at. Look at Coach
Matt Rule.
Yeah,
like,
look at.
I'll let you go for it because I think we're heading in the same direction.
Well, like so Coach Rule, like, I will say over the first 3 years, he's kind of had carte blanche. Like, he has, been able to do what he wants. I hate to say it, but he's out in public. He said how he's went to concerts with his girls, because they wanted to meet country music artists and stuff like that. Well, fast forward that a year or two and say Nebraska's not winning. All that stuff is going to go under the microscope, and you're going to have people saying, Why you out take it? Why are you going to concert? Shouldn't you be watching tape? Shouldn't you be doing that? But it all is contingent on winning. I mean, look at Scott Frost, for instance. Scott Frost just took a beating from everyone. But you look at his record, he had so many one-score games. Say those scores flip-flop, and he's the modern day Tom Osborne. If he's able to change, basically for like, I don't know, what, 15 or 20 games, they were like one-score games. Just think.
Well, that one year in particular, where it's the best 3 in whatever team.
Yeah.
3-9 team. I mean, because of the opponents, like, that team would have been in the playoffs. Like, with the amount of ranked.
There's the one-score games that he was in. I mean, everybody's like, well, Scott Frost this, Scott Frost that. Well, here's the deal. If they were able to and they always say ifs, ands, and buts, or candy and nuts, every day would be Christmas. But I'm just saying, just the turn of what could have happened if he would have pulled off those one-score games, or they would have been saying Coach Frost the next Tom Osborne. But it's just always in what happens with wins and losses. Like Coach Rule, he's everybody's All-American coach, at Nebraska. However, if the wins don't start the same next year, they struggle next year. Well, all of a sudden the fire gets turned up. But it's not just Nebraska. That's what I stress to a lot of people. It's like people are like I've talked to like some people that have said, well, are Nebraska fans, if we don't win, are they going to turn against us? I'm like, is there a program in the country, if you don't win, they're going to turn that is the state of sports. It's always been that way. If you don't win, like they say, like Coach Rule said, the fans pay their money, so that, I mean, you hate it's that way, but that's just the way the sports world is. If you don't win, most likely you don't have a job. I mean, that's just the way but that goes for anything. If you have a job and you're not producing, you probably won't be there. I mean, that's the way of the world. So,
well, they almost wanted to fire Ryan Day.
Yeah, because he was
losing to Michigan.
Yeah,
and then last year, that season they wanted him fired.
Yeah,
because they put themselves in a spot where they weren't undefeated. Was it Oregon they lost to? Yeah, I think it was Oregon.
Nope.
In the regular season, and then they would end up meeting them in the playoffs, and then they would win it. But people wanted him fired. And he goes on and went to national championship, and the same people that were calling for him to be fired were like, all hail Ryan Day, one of the best college coaches, one of the best winning percentages. This is incredible. Like, you guys were ready to fire him. Iowa fans, parents, they've kind of been in that boat forever. But like, even Matt Rule at the beginning of the season, like, he had that TikTok video with like Harper Murray, I think, and like the volleyball team. I was like, this is awesome. Look at our sports teams getting together. No one had a negative comment. And then I'm listening to some other people like, what the hell are you doing all this stuff? And it's like, I didn't hear that before. I just heard it when the losses came.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like when you're winning and everything's going good, no one says a word about anything. But then and then when things aren't going as good, then all of a sudden you start hearing things, then people start, putting out false. It's just because it's bad. It's not right at all. But it's just the way it's always been in sports. And like I say, it's not just Nebraska. It's everywhere. It's crazy, but at the end of the day, it's about the wins. Like AD and me, we always said it. You can tell us how great we're going to be. But at the end of the day, it's about wins and losses. You've got to win games. I mean, you can be the best person in the world, but if you're not winning games, you probably won't have a job, no matter how good a person you are.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like, I think the best, and this is my opinion, I think the best approach to it is go with that old school, keep it to your vest kind of route. You avoid a lot of potential criticism for coaches in particular. For players, it's a little bit different because NIL is a big factor. You can get paid off of that. So those guys but coaches in particular, I think keep it to your vest. The best way to sell your program is to win games, period.
Yep. It is.
And my biggest, problem with Matt Rule, and I don't think this is not, I'm not saying he needs to be fired because of this. At the end, maybe he's right. But, are you getting paid millions of dollars to win football games or to do a podcast or to travel around and hop on other podcasts. Now, I get it. Maybe he will say, and the supporters of that will say, well, it's not about Rule, it's about selling the program. So, yeah, that's why we're doing it. And I'm sure that's what Matt Rule's mindset is. But to me, it seems like a waste of time. I'm not like saying he's completely right or I'm completely right, but I'm old school. Like, that's just the way I see things.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like it goes back to the winning and losing. If Nebraska's winning and he's doing a podcast, you probably won't hear much about it. But when Nebraska's losing and then losing like lopsided games, then all of a sudden people are like, okay, you're doing this podcast. Looks like you're putting some time into that. What about watching some extra tape? What about, what? So and I know he would always come back and be like, hey, I'm doing everything in my power. I'm working, but still you're always going to have those naysayers. And that, like I said, it is not just Nebraska. It's every, and it's not every college team. It's every college and professional team. You always are going to have that no matter where you go, but winning solves everything. And it's always been that way. If you're winning, like, I mean, say what you want about Scott Frost, but boy, if Scott Frost would have pulled off, say 60% of those one-score games, there's a good chance that, Scott Frost is the king of Nebraska right now. It's crazy, but it's a true story.
Yeah. Wins and losses. I mean, it's sports in a nutshell.
Yep.
And like the craziest part is like you don't get a lot of leeway for your past. Like you could be one of the best coaches in a 10-year run, 2 bad years and you're out.
Yeah.
Or even like a school like LSU has kind of been notorious for it. Like even with Kelly, whether you thought he was a nice guy, great guy, whatever. That was a good team. It was not a bad team. That team, probably beats Nebraska. Like that was a good, talented team. Not the season you were hoping for, but he never gave you like a bad product of like this team's just horrible. They don't.
How about James Franklin?
He's the most egregious of them all because that run of pulling you out of the depths of poison. I mean, that school was poison. Do you want to coach somewhere? Penn State was the last possible location for obvious reasons. Before James Franklin got there, he gets down there, he puts it together, he makes it respectable. Then he makes it a powerhouse, just a powerhouse that can't quite win the national championship. But again, with the playoffs expanded to 12, that was the best opportunity to keep James Franklin because he would be in those playoffs just about every year, like he was in year one. One bad year, panic fire him. Like, come on. to me, that's where
they're fledgling. They don't even really know where they're going right now. It's crazy.
Why you double down on their head coach? They said, let's get this guy, get him his money that he needs to keep him here. And do you think it's just Penn State as a name that they have that's still playing a conference championship game or even a bowl game that they have someone in mind, or do you think they're full on panic down there?
I think they took the playbook right out of the Steve Peterson Nebraska playbook of yesteryear. I think they thought that they could fire James Franklin and somebody would just step up automatically and they'd have a guy there. And then all of a sudden they're people that they wanted. I think I would have to think that Cignetti was probably one of their top targets. And then when he went back to Indiana, it kind of set them, to now they're, I'd say, kind of panic mode. I think whoever they bring in, I know there's a big push for Terry Smith. That's his, I believe, Coach Smith. There's a big push for him right now, with the players and stuff like that. But it's hard to justify, to the boosters and stuff like that, the fact that, well, you had James Franklin and Terry Smith was on his staff. So now you're just going to bring in a guy that was on his staff. Like, I hope that he gets the job. I mean, to me, but the game that really the only game that Penn State showed up for while he was coaching was the Nebraska game. So it's like, does he deserve the job, or, are they going for a splashier hire? But now what are you going to do with a splashier hire? I don't know who would be a splashy hire right now for Penn State. I don't know if Matt Campbell, I don't know if that name, really pushes the needle for Penn State fans. And
John
then,
Gruden?
Yeah, that would be, I guess.
Splash. He's itching to coach. I know there's a lot of people that want to see him coach again. I don't I don't know if that'll ever happen.
That would be a needle mover, though. That would be someone I think that Penn State fans could get behind. Because I mean, even now, like Matt Rule, I mean, they're gonna scoff at that. I mean, yes, he played for Penn State and he's alumni and friends, but the boosters and stuff will scoff because they're gonna be like, well, didn't Penn State take it to Nebraska? It's like, so they'd be scratching their heads there and that matter. But yeah, John Gruden would definitely be a needle mover. That would be definitely one I think Penn State fans could get behind.
The problem is I know how Gruden feels about the era of college football right now, and it fires him up and he gets very heated. I think if he's going to go anywhere, I think it's NFL and NFL only.
Yeah, but I think so too. And I think that when Penn State saw his contractual demands, they they'd probably be sweating a little bit, because I think that if John Gruden coaches in college, it's nothing less than $15 million a year.
Yeah, I think you're probably pretty spot on with that number. Maybe a little less, but not too far from it. All right, Raff. We went way over the clock. That's fine. We're streaming only.
Come on, Harrison. Jeez.
We got NFL on the brick and mortar. Don't worry about it. And the Lions are giving it to the Cowboys right now. 27-19. About 3 minutes to go left in the third quarter. This NFL season has been a tough one to track, at the very least. All right, we'll throw it to break. Don't go anywhere. Raff's Good Take on Sports. Harrison Arns, Chris Raff. Talk to you in a bit.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Boyd Farm Outfitters. Farmers, you need to know about Green Eye Spot Spray. With Green Eye, we replace your existing spray boom with a brand new aluminum boom equipped with camera technology that identifies and sprays only weeds and not your crop. The boom comes with 2 spray lines so you can still broadcast residual herbicide while you're spot spraying weeds that are up. Green Eye users in Nebraska are saving a ton of money on herbicides, but that's just the beginning. Learn more at BoydFarmOutfitters.com. That's BOECK FarmOutfitters.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Fall is officially here, and Brown's Shoe Fit has just the right style and comfort your feet deserve. Stop in to see a wide selection of all your favorite brands, including Brooks, Hoka, Echo, Keen, and many more. At Brown's Shoe Fit, they take the time to measure your feet to ensure proper fit. They also have the largest selection of Uggs and Hokas in Lincoln. Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back in, Raff's Good Take on Sports, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. You can catch the podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, really wherever you get your podcast from. They'll be there for you. All right, Chris Raff, segment number 2. And because we are streaming, who knows? Maybe we'll roll this one into segments 2 and 3 altogether. Because we get to do that. Raff, where do you want to go? I know you got NFL on the chart there, on the notes.
The National Football League. We got some big games coming up this weekend. We got, I think the one at noon for me, Steelers versus Ravens.
That one's got implications. Real quickly, I'll let you go. I'm just going to, the playoff.
You go. Give me the implications.
So the Ravens currently are 6-6. They are first in the NFC North, but if they lose that game, their probability drops down to 33% to make the playoffs if they lose to the Steelers. If they win, it goes all the way up to about 80%. Currently, they are 62% favorite. But like I said, if they lose, it looks drastically different for them. And for the Steelers, right now they're at 35%. If they lose this game, it drops down to 18%. However, a win puts them right back in the mix, and then they would be 65% favorited to make the playoffs.
Yeah, so that game for me, I think that's for the early games. Well, actually there's 2 early games. There's another early game that strikes my fancy too, that you at the beginning of the year, if you'd have told me that the Indianapolis Colts versus the Jacksonville Jaguars would be must-watch television, I would have said, yeah, right, no way, no how. And look at that game. You got 2 8-4 teams going. I mean, that's the game, I believe, for the top of the division, if I'm not mistaken. I think.
Yeah, top of the division. Yeah. I don't think they've played yet, have they?
I don't think so. I'm not sure though on that one. So
they have not played each other yet.
Yeah, so that's another game that's got divisional implications in it, because it's going to be, the wild cards are going to be a battle. I mean, they're going to be a true battle. If you don't get your division taken care of, you're going to have a lot of teams fighting for wild card teams, like the Chiefs, for instance. they basically are in a win or go home scenario now. If they lose another game, they're going to have a tough time. Like they could win out, but there's going to be other teams that might have better records that are battling for conferences that, you know, will be unable to win their conference, but they're going to have really good records. So it's definitely the battle for wild cards this year. It's going to be very hotly contested. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's about like 2 more losses and the Chiefs are out. 1 more loss, it's a long shot still.
Yeah.
If they lose just this upcoming game versus the Texans, and that defense is hot. So Texas, I'm going to be surprised if Texans come out with this one. The Chiefs haven't really impressed me all year. So I mean, even if they win this game, it feels like a matter of time. If they lose this one, again, this is just the NFL. They have their playoff probability odds. That puts them at a 12% if they lose this game. If they win, they're at that 50-50 mark at 49% chance. Currently, who would have thought this late into the season, week 13, 34% to get into the playoffs. And it's crazy that you're looking here at the Jags, that if they win this next game, like they're pretty much locked in. Things have to go crazy. Maybe not the division, but to get in as one of the better teams in that conference.
What is the Chiefs' remaining schedule? Do you have that by chance?
I think it's tough.
They play the Broncos on Christmas. I know that's Christmas night. I know that's Broncos Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Okay.
So they got the Texans this week.
They got a couple of light games and a couple of tougher ones. So Texans, Chiefs, win or lose. We'll do this.
Is that at Arrowhead or in Houston?
Arrowhead.
Okay, so I'll say win.
Okay. Chargers at home.
Win.
It lines up for them really well. It makes you think. The NFL wants them in there. On the road, Titans.
Win.
At home, Broncos.
And they have one game after that remaining?
Yep. And it's on the road.
And who's it against?
Raiders.
Win. Yeah, there's a good and the crazy thing about this is, say Denver continues to win and they clinch home field advantage, and say that second to last game of the year doesn't mean anything for the Broncos. Do they play their players? Do they sit their players? I mean, I would assume that you play your player. I believe Sean Payton's a players kind of guy. So, but I was kind of thinking about that. I was just like, oh, if Denver would clinch the first round bye, would they play their starters? But then I was like, so yeah, but yeah, the Chiefs, I think they're definitely in good. But like I said, they might win out and still be left out just for the fact of what the other teams are facing. So it's going to, because they're sitting at what? They're at
6-6.
They're 6-6 right now. Okay, so you've got going through here. So you got Steelers and Ravens. So tiebreaker, I believe the Chiefs or did I was trying to think tiebreakers. If the Ravens hold the tiebreaker, the Ravens beat the Chiefs, didn't they? Or the Chiefs beat the Ravens, didn't they?
Yeah, 37-20.
Okay, so the Chiefs have the tiebreaker over the Ravens.
Yep.
Did they play the Steelers? I don't think they did
play the Steelers. No, they did not.
Okay, so there's really they'd have to look down further in tiebreakers there. Okay, Colts and Jags. The Jags beat the Chiefs.
The Chiefs beat the Colts.
But the Chiefs beat the Colts. So say the Colts end up winning the division and the Jags are in the wild card position, the Jags have the tiebreaker. So technically the
Jags have also beat the Chiefs straight up.
Who's that?
The Jaguars have beat the Chiefs as well earlier in the year, straight up.
So if they end up tied, Jaguars would get the nod. So technically they've got almost a 3-game lead over the Chiefs right now.
Yep.
And then you've got other AFC teams. You got Buffalo that's 8-4, and they'll probably be a wild card team. Remember, they beat the Chiefs, so they've technically got a 3-game lead over the Chiefs right now.
Yep.
Because I'm assuming that the Patriots will keep on rolling and win that division. Yeah, and so then you got Texans and Chiefs. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting. Even if they win out, it's going to be nip and tuck. Whether they can pull out the wild card spot or not. Just because with tiebreakers and stuff like that, even though they look like they're 2 games out from a wild card, some of those teams they're technically 3, just because they own the tiebreaker over them. So it's going to be a wild ride in Kansas City these next 5 weeks.
At least the schedule's set up nicely for them. I mean, your tough games are at home, and then you get 2 road games against 2 of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah, all these people talking about the Broncos' easy schedule. Good Lord. Chiefs got a cakewalk.
They really do at the end of the year. And like some of these games they've had, it's, that's on you for losing. The schedule is set up pretty favorable for them, I thought. But let's see here. We got a little bit more time left. What other games pique your interest here, Chris Raff? Because I do think that the Chiefs, I really think they're going to be out this year.
Yeah,
I would be surprised if they get a loss with those games remaining. I mean, it's set up for them to be favored in most. There might be, I don't know what that Broncos game line will look like, but even then, you have to win out and then hope for a little bit of chaos because there's too many tiebreakers where you're on the wrong side of.
Yeah. That's a thing that I keep on looking at. Like, do I think the Chiefs can win out? I think they totally can win out. But then on the other hand, I'm like, some of these other teams own the tiebreakers. So if they end the season, winning games, that it's going to put the Chiefs in a bit of a bind. So it'll be to take a look at that and just see how the in the hunt, teams look. It'll be how that all plays out. Another game that sticks out to me this weekend. This is kind of I'm not sure. I'm thinking the Bengals have played themselves out of it. But if the Bengals could defeat the Bills this weekend, that would set them 2 games back behind the Steelers and the Ravens. I mean, are they? They still. Mathematically, they're not eliminated yet. But the longer you let the Bengals hang around, and if Joe Burrow gets on a hot streak like he did last year, beware the Bengals. If there's
no shot. They're at a 3% chance, and if they win versus the Bills, it only jumps up to an 8. They're at that 1% mark where if they lose,
so the pesky Joe Burrows are probably out of it, and then you got Bears Packers. Oh,
that's a big one. They flex the game too because it's a big one. I was waiting for it. I was hoping we'd get to this one.
So we're gonna have Troy Aikman at the game on Sunday.
Yeah, he hates the Bears too.
So we'll have Mr. Aikman and Mr. Joe Buck there, the Hall of Famer Troy Aikman. Yeah, that'll be a heck of a game. And then the Monday night game, Eagles and the Chargers. From an AFC West standpoint, Eagles are coming off a bad loss. If they take care of the Chargers, that puts the Broncos possibly three games up with 4 to play. So that'd be very nice for the Broncos.
Yeah, our teams are sitting all right here, Raff. I mean, we're even if the Broncos lose, they're 95%. Like the Broncos are pretty much locked in. They'd have to really screw it up.
Yeah. So they got the Raiders, the Chargers, the Chiefs, and then who's their last game or who's their?
So what you got left? Raiders, Packers, Jaguars, Chiefs, Chargers.
So no,
you got a tough schedule here. I mean, that's not easy. Raiders, yeah, you'll take that one. But Packers, you get them at home at least. You get the Jaguars at home, but then you do got to face the Chiefs at home. Yeah. But you get to finish the year at home as well. So you're sitting pretty.
How did Chiefs get that schedule? Chiefs were in the Super Bowl last year. Come on now.
And then my Bears, because I'm selfish, and this is the first time I get to talk about them in meaningful games. They got a little bit of a gauntlet to end the year.
All right.
So if you look at the playoff odds, the Bears are still not fit. They have had some of the worst playoff probability odds, despite being number 1 in the NFC. It really started with the Steelers, and they won that game. Then it was the Eagles, but they're able to win that one. So now they're setting themselves up, but they got a tough stretch. Obviously, we just talked about it. You get the Packers, then you do get the Browns at home, but then it's the Packers again, 49ers, and Lions.
Yeah, they got a challenging little schedule there. But like I always say, if you can beat those teams, you can beat anybody. So it sends them into the playoffs, with that confidence that they can win anytime, anywhere. So from one standpoint, it stinks because the schedule's tough, but from the other standpoint, I like it because they're going to know where they sit going into the playoffs.
Yeah, the NFC's got some chaotic divisions. The NFC North and, of course, the NFC West. I mean, you got a bunch of teams that are just neck and neck, and it's going to come down to tiebreakers as to who gets those last spots. So it's fun. I mean, this has been one of the more fun years in the NFL, not just because of my Chicago Bears, although that certainly helps, but you just look around and, I was talking about it with Arden Lockheim, and it's like the teams with the rookie contract QBs are killing it. The teams that are able to allocate money to other areas are actually the ones sitting well. The super paid quarterbacks are struggling in a way that we're not used to seeing. Because the Chiefs, the Bills, even the Ravens, if they lose this one, their odds drop dramatically.
You know who a surprise team for me kind of is? The Rams.
That defense is unreal. And then you got Stafford playing in some of his best football. I know the Panthers game, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!" But the Panthers are good this year.
Can you imagine if Aaron Donald didn't retire?
Oh my Lord! I mean, they would be the favorites, I would think, to win the Super Bowl if they still had Aaron Donald on that.
I think he could probably come out of retirement today and probably still be as dominant as what he was when he retired. I mean, he's in crazy shape. I mean, it just amazes me what I'm forgetting his name, Sean
McVay.
Yeah, Sean McVay is done. I mean, he was looking like he was going to be retiring. It just felt like that he was kind of maybe burnt out from coaching. But then he said that Baker Mayfield, of all people, reinstilled the fire of coaching back into him, and now he's got. And then Matt Stafford, you were looking at him at the beginning of the year like maybe he's injured, his career's winding down, and then he's out there just throwing the ball around the field to Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. So it's fun to watch those guys play too. So it's going to be an interesting end to the season. That's for sure.
Exciting. Nonetheless, Chris Raff. All right. What is your good take of the day before we go ahead and get out of here and get things ready for the Don't Punt Hour with Des Moines Pearsonell?
Okay. Well, today's Raff's good take goes out to my mom. Tomorrow is her birthday. Just wanted to wish her a very happy birthday. Just one of the best. I mean, she is, to me, the best mom in the history of the world. Just a great person.
I would hope so. It'd be awkward if you're like, "Oh, my best friend Kevin, his mom is actually the best mom in the world."
But you know how like you're partial because it's your mom, but then when you see the stuff that she does, like she goes out of her way to help people, and she tries to be a positive in this world. And when you have role model like that, it just makes you want to be a better person. So, Mom, I just want to wish you a very happy birthday, and you are Raff's good take. So, yes, happy birthday, Mom.
All right, I'll go along the same wavelength. I will give my good take to my mom. She is the best mom in the world, not Chris Raff. No, I'm just kidding. Your mom's, I'm sure she's a lovely lady.
My mom texting in. We're going to have a mom on mom text off.
All right, Jolene Arns. That's my mom's name. I get to say it because people won't know who just mom is. I'm going to lean on you. Get in here and let Chris Raff know who the better mom is. All right. Well, that being said, we will go ahead and get out of here. I got one more thing to say.
I got one more thing to say too. I want to wish a very happy 54th wedding anniversary to my friend Amy Bell's parents. Mr. and Mrs. Bell, have a very happy 54th wedding anniversary.
Well said, Chris Raff. I am Harrison Arns. That is Chris Raff. Don't go anywhere. Ticket Weeknights keeps rolling. We'll talk to you then.